I've run checks on all 45 main dev diaries about Project Ceasar and its main features. I did count every single vote on all of these dev diaries and looked how many of these votes were negative. We've got over 19,000 votes across all of them, with only 4% being negative, which gives us around 800 negative votes. This means we've received around 400 votes per dev diary and 18 on average of negative votes. Interestingly, there were 17 Totoks that received 0 negative votes, and that was Team Totoks number 1, number 2 and number 4 included. There are 21 Team Totoks with less than 1% of negative votes, and only 6 of them that have more than 10% on negative votes. And from these 6, I'm gonna show you 5 today. Number 5 is Team Totoks number 15. This dev diary received 73 negative votes, so almost 12% out of 610. That dev diary was focused on the characters. So in general, we got to know that characters will be a bit expanded compared to EU4 and more shared between the cabinet, rulers, generals, admirals, etc. And that they will still have 3 main stats, but the stats range will be from 0 to 100, impacting how efficient that character is in a specific action. But the problem is, these things didn't matter for the negative votes. The negative votes came because they presented 3D character models. And as you know, a lot of Paradox Interactive fans just don't like it. And that was the main feedback received in the comment section. 3D graphic? Oh, can it be turned off? Can we mod that? And the only thing that Johan told us, yes, you'll be able to mod it to 2D portraits or no portraits at all. Number 4 on this list is Team Totoks number 20. This dev diary received 456 votes, out of which 12.5% were negative, so 57 votes. The topic of this dev diary: advances. So we pretty much got to know that there will be advances 3, fairly similar to Victoria 3, and every age in the game you'll be unlocking the new advances, plus there will be a lot of unique advances for country, for religion, for culture, etc. On top of that, we got to know that they are replacing idea groups with focuses in every age. So in every age you'll be able to choose an admin, diplo or military focus, so in every of 7 ages, that will unlock you 10 unique advances, kind of like idea groups and their bonuses. And the main negative feedback, even though remember it's just 12% negative votes, is that EU5 will not have national ideas and idea groups, right? Advances are replacing both of them. General national advances are replacing national ideas, so they're more spread across the game. It's not like in EU4 when you can unlock all of them by 1530. While instead of idea groups, as told you, we have the focuses in every age. Number 3 is Team Totoks 33, about diplomacy in general. That dev diary first of all did not receive many votes, it's one of the lowest voted, only 294, and 14.5% of these votes were negative, 43 to be exact. In this dev diary we got to know how diplomats work, opinion, trust and favors, and in general different diplomatic actions, you know, like building a spy network, your diplomatic reputation and range, rivals, diplomatic capacity, and then friendly and negative actions you can use diplomatically, like improve relations, right, or embargo a country. There are actually multiple things that the people pointed out in the chat section that is not right for some of them in this dev diary. First of all, rival system. A lot of people say that it's not really nice, it blocks a lot of dynamic in the game, and they would prefer to not have a rival system at all, or at least change it, because right now it looks like it's gonna be very similar to EU4 with slightly different requirements to rival someone. Second of all, the main change in the diplomacy for EU5 is that you're gonna have kind of a diplomatic mana, like in EU3, meaning that you have amount of diplomats, diplomatic capacity, let's say it's 4, and to do a specific action to start it, you use 1. And then for some actions that require you to use the diplomat monthly, like improve relations, it's gonna use some of this monthly. And at the same time, each month you're recovering that diplomatic up to your max. So people are just saying it's not really good immersion, it's like what you're gaining a point to diplomat, and they don't like it. Finally, that div die also had a bug with diplomatic range. You can see that in the map, it was not being calculated properly. With top 2, you're getting the much higher percentages of negative votes. Because number 2, so Tintotox 35, that was about country ranks and hegemons, received 26% negative votes, which gives 92 out of 350 votes being negative. That Tintotox pretty much introduced 3 features to be exact. Country ranks, so something similar to rather actually Imperator Rome than EU4, but obviously also the stronger you become, the higher rank you're having. Great powers, and finally 3 different types of the hegemons. Here for the negative feedback. There were some 3D characters, so people again disliked it. Some people complained that it's the great powers and hegemons is a very gamey feature that's giving a snowball advantage over non-great power, non-hegemon nations, as it simply gives bonuses but no really disadvantages. Some people also complain that this only helps with the modifier stacking that they want to avoid in EU5 compared to EU4. A concept that the hegemons will be only unlocked in Age of Discovery Advance, and the calculation is gonna be really weird because somebody on the other side of the world that you have no idea about will be a hegemon for you. So imagine that there was so much negative feedback in this dev diary that our beloved Johan, only a few Tintotox later, decided to improve these features based on the feedback. So already in Tintotox 39, this one was 35, they released feedback Tintotox that received only 4.5% of negative votes. Let's see what's there. So country ranks. Originally they were unlocking you with each country rank versus powerful diplomatic mechanic. They changed that instead it's just giving you different flavor and internal in-nation mechanics. And some of the most powerful diplomatic actions were moved from specific country ranks to the great powers, like intervene and threaten war. For great powers, they actually added some costs, so you're gonna pay much more for your court, because if you are a great power, great powers receive negative opinion of each other, and all of the modifiers, bonuses that great powers get, they scale with their positions in the great powers list. Finally, there's no fixed amount of the great powers in game. I mean, there's a minimum maximum land, but it's gonna be fluid between these two, depending on the amount of the countries in the world, and relative strength of the other great powers to the top 1 great power. Hegemonies. There are 5 of them, so they increase the amount. They unlocked automatically in Age of Discovery, and you become a hegemon automatically. You don't claim a hegemon. Just as soon as you get to a certain power over the other nations, you become a hegemon. So to become a hegemon, I believe you need to be a great power, and you need to be at least 10% more powerful than number 2 nation in that specific area. So this works automatically. And you can be also a hegemon in multiple areas at the same time. They removed most of the stacking modifiers, and the fact that the longer your hegemon, the more bonuses you get, just to avoid the modifier stacking. But yeah, it's time for number 1, the only Tintotox that has more negative than positive votes. And that's Tintotox number 31. So you see, between 31 and 35 Tintotox, they did not have a good moment for the voters, right? 31, 35 and 33 are the top 3 worst voted Tintotox. And that number 31 is having 61% negative votes. So 303 out of 495 votes were negative. And what that Tintotox is about? Peace offers. So we got to know there's only one-sided peace offers. We got to know that there's aggressive expansion in-game, there's war enthusiasm just like in EU4, and that there's a war participation. If you want to take a specific land, you need to occupy capital of this land. So it's location, that location. If it's a province, a capital location of that province. And when you declare war for a specific war or to conquer a specific province, you cannot take any other land if you don't take the war goal. And obviously the main expectation from the community that the big improvement of EU5 would be to introduce two-way peace deals. Like, I give you something for exchange for something. It's great and historical, right? That's very often how the peace deals looked like. But the main feedback from Johan on that is that, yeah, it's great, and I would also love to have that in game. But the issue is, first of all, you can exploit it a lot. Just like in some of the Civ games, right? There are a lot of exploits. But more importantly, it's extremely hard to set up AI to use it properly. Between each other and with the player, right? Because there are thousands, right? Thousands of type of the peace treaties. So probably to make it work, they would need to remove most of the types of the peace treaties and just focus on the very simple ones. So the question is, do you want the two-sided peace deals, or you want to have expanded amount of the peace treaties? Then of course a lot of people don't like that you cannot take as more provinces if you don't take the war goal, because historically often you declare for something but in the end you took something else in a peace treaty. Some people were disappointed that it's very similar to EU4, so like wars come from 0 to 100 cap and no changes. So it's funny about the community. I mean, on one hand, when they change something to work differently than in EU4, like trade system, a lot of people are yelling, oh no, this looks like Victoria 2, you cannot do that, bring us EU4 system. On the other hand, if you keep something that works in EU4, like the peace treaties, people are like, oh, I expected it to be changed, oh, you'll never make everyone happy. That's why a lot of these Tinto talks have negative feedback, because there are different expectations from different people. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the negative feedback. Let me know yourself, because I only showed 5 Tinto talks with a lot of negative feedback. Let me know yourself, based on what you've seen so far, what you don't like the most about what they announced about EU5 so far. And definitely share your feedback, because I know that Johan is looking for the feedback, and often not only on the Paradox forum, but also sometimes on YouTube. So all the feedback is appreciated, same as appreciated subscription to get notified about my future videos. I'm planning some bigger Tinto Talks videos still, like summarizing flavor, because we've received flavor for a few nations already. So to get that, yeah, subscribe to the channel, and I'm gonna see you very, very soon. Goodbye!